Were you aware that 1 out of every 7 people in the United States, the state actually owes them some money, and the state is not going to call you, email you, chase you down, knock on your door to give it back to you? There are literally billions of dollars sitting at the states that are basically unclaimed. So on today's episode, I want to show you guys the websites to avoid. I want to show you guys how to actually do the process of searching. There are some scammy aspects of it if you're doing this incorrectly. But if you follow this guide, if you follow from A to Z, we're going to cut through all the scams, and I'm going to show you how to effectively claim the money that is owed to you if, in fact, the states owe you money. So we're going to go over all of that and more in this video. All right, now, so before we even start, I want to go over what do they mean by missing property, or sometimes you heard of it as missing money. So if you ever opened up a bank account and let's say you moved away and there were funds in that bank account and you just forgot about it, you left, you moved, for whatever reason, the bank was not able to get in contact with you, after a certain period of time, the bank has to send that money over to the state. Another example is, let's say your credit was not really good. You had to go ahead and open up some utilities in your name. So they told you have to put down several $100s in order to get this utility turned on in your name. They're not able to give you that money, track you down. They got to send that money back to the state. There's a whole bunch of different reasons and a whole bunch of different accounts that after a certain period of time, if you're not able to retrieve your money or if you're not able to access your money, the bank, the utility companies, the insurance companies, all these different companies, they're not just allowed to say, all right, well, you're screwed. We're going to put this money in our pocket and on to the next one. Legally, they must return that money to the state, and it's supposed to stay there until you're able to collect that money yourself, right? So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can actually do it. I've seen websites that try to charge you fees up front just to be able to do what we're about to do right now. I know that there are people out there that their full-time job is to basically go through all these websites, all these directories, find people that are owed money, and they're basically like the middleman. So they find somebody that is owed money by the state, they get in contact with them, they do all the paperwork for that person, and then they get a percentage back from whatever they collected for that person. And because they assisted you with getting you that $1,000, you got to break them off a little percentage of that. Sometimes it's 5, 10, 8%. Whatever it is that you guys negotiate or whatever is in their paperwork. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to pay anybody. We're not going to pay a website. I'm just going to show you exactly what website to go to, right? And you can see on the screen right here, missingmoney.com is one of them. And make sure, guys, you go to this specific website, missingmoney.com. Again, I've seen multiple different websites that look similar to this. That wasn't this exact site. And then there were some charges and there were some fees that you had to pay in order to use this site. We're not going to do that. We're not going to fall for the okie doke. So let's just go ahead and read what's on this website. Missingmoney.com is the only website endorsed by the states working together to reunite you with your lost funds. And to the right, you can see here, this is where you're going to put your name. And you can also see here, it says last name or business name. So we're going to go through this process for you personally. But again, if you have a LLC, if you have a corporation in a particular state, you can still be able to search not only for you personally, but for your corporation. Scrolling down, this is the only website that is endorsed by the National Association of Unclaimed Property Administrators. Once again, guys, this is very important. Do not go to any website. Do not put your information in any random website that's promising you to do anything for you if it's not coming from this official website. Scrolling down, remember to search for previous names if you had multiple names, common misspellings of your current and former name, and the name of relatives if you may be the rightful heir to the property. If you're somebody that has a name that's commonly misspelled, if you're married or if you've been divorced, use your previous name, use your married name. Any name that you previously had, you want to put that into the system. Same thing with addresses. You want to search for states where, let's say you were in Pennsylvania in your college years, and then you moved to Texas, then you moved to California, then you moved to Tennessee. Do a search for every single one of those states, even if you only lived there for a year or so. Any place where you've lived, make sure you do a search for that in that particular state. Actually search for my mother's name, and she's actually owed several $100s from a bank account that she didn't even remember opening. So again, you never know what you're going to find until you do the search. So now let's go ahead and search. I'm going to go ahead and put a basic name in here, Tom Jones. I'm going to do search. And you can see here, missingmoney.com is actually going to be able to pull from several different states at one time, which is good, right? So you're going to see the owner name, co-owner name, if it's available, reporting business name. So now we have undisclosed, we have a bank here, we have an insurance company, Alltel Corporation, so utility company, another national life insurance company, another insurance company. So you can see here, utilities, insurance companies, banks, right? There's a whole bunch of different type of companies that if you're not able to get in contact with them, they're just basically holding on to your money. Scrolling over more, you can see the address, the city, the state, the zip. So you got to make sure you're following everything. Make sure that this entry matches an address that you previously lived at. And then on the very far right, you can see the amount. And at some point they changed this because I know at some point certain states will actually give you the specific amount. They will literally tell you $2,000, $2,050, $6,000. Again, if I was somebody that wanted to do this as a side hustle, I could basically just cherry pick everybody that's owed, let's say $5,000, $10,000 or above, reach out to Tom Jones, right? Hit him up. Hey, Tom, there's some money owed to you in Alabama. I can go ahead and help you facilitate the acquisition of that missing property. I'm going to send you over some documents. Boom, boom, boom. I think some people were doing this as a strategy, and because of that, we're not able to see the specific amounts. Again, that's just my theory, but look at the first one right here. All right, so Tom Jones, the very first one out in Kentucky. You can see here for info, this property is held by the state of Kentucky. Claim it on their official site. It's going to take you to the unclaimed property search page for Kentucky, and I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. But if you're somebody that, let's say you don't trust the missingmoney.com website, let's say you want to cut through any sort of middleman, you can literally go to Google and type in unclaimed property and then your state, and it's going to take you to your state specific unclaimed property website. So you can see here I typed in unclaimed property Texas. We click on the first one. Make sure that it's a .gov website, and the process is going to be 99% the same regardless of whatever state that you go ahead and do this process with. The aesthetic may be a little bit different. The placement of the search buttons might be a little bit different, but essentially the process is going to be pretty much exactly the same no matter what website you go to. It's going to start off again. Let's do Tom Jones. What search? This is what's Texas. Now on Texas, you can see here, you can see the specific amount that's owed on Texas. Not every state is going to show you this specific amount. So just skimming down, you can see $90, $300, $500, $100. So pretty much the amount varies, but the process is still exactly the same. We're going to hit the very first one. We're going to put claim. We're going to do continue to file claim, review claim properties. On the claimant relationship, this is what I want you to pay attention to. So once again, you can pretty much see here that you don't even have to be the specific person that's owed the money in order to submit the claim for that particular person. If you have a power of attorney, you can do it for pretty much anyone. I'm going to pretend like I have the power of attorney. I'm going to hit next. And all the information here is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to put in your personal information. You're going to put in the social, or again, if you're doing this for a business, you're going to put in that tax ID number. You're going to go ahead and hit next. And then you're going to basically submit. And you just submitted that for that particular property. Again, make sure you guys are doing this for yourself in multiple states. Make sure you're doing searches for yourself with commonly misspelled ways of your name. Make sure to do it for your parents, grandparents, relatives that have passed away. Again, you never know. A lot of these trusts, these life insurance companies, these bank accounts, safety deposit boxes, if they're not able to get in contact with you or your family member, they're not going to go outside of their way to try to find you guys. You got to do this search for yourself. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Let's go back to the website once again. Make sure you guys are going to missingmoney.com. This is probably going to be the first place you need to go ahead and do your search. Missing Money is basically like an aggregate site. It's going to give you the information. But for many of these sites, you're going to have to go to the state-specific website anyway. So if you just want to do it that way, just go to Google. Type in unclaimed property in the state that you're living in now, or the states that you've lived in at any point in time. Click on the website that ends in .gov. It has to be a government website. Search for unclaimed property. Again, this is California. And then once again, you can see that the process is pretty much the same. And then search. And then boom, here we go. And there's literally 20 pages worth of entries. And if you're somebody that wants to do this as a side hustle, you've got the resources. But for everybody that's out there that wants to do it for themselves and for their family, you don't have to pay for a course. You don't have to pay anybody up front. Don't pay for any website. Just go ahead and follow the steps that I just outlined today in this video, and you should be good to go. So that is basically the fundamentals of how to find missing money, missing property in any state in literally 5 to 10 minutes. You can go through the entire process. But that is pretty much it, guys. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Hopefully you got a couple of gems from this. If you did, you already know what to do at this point. Like, subscribe, go down in the comments. That is a fantastic way to support the channel, support me to continue to go ahead and create more content for you guys. And I'm going to catch you in the next video. Have a blessed one. Peace.